We've had our flooding problems, just to kind of like pinpoint what Linwood was saying. What we had to do was we had to drop rocks, okay, into the trestle so the water would be kept back, because what had happened was the foliage was clogging the drains. And I can't tell you how many times in the years that I was there that we had the Fiat building, which was across, if anybody's been down there, it's across from the Jimson plant, which was Georgia Pacific. And what that would do to us is that would put us back dispatch-wise and whatever the case may be. But what wound up happening was I was basically there to view the other side of where we decided, and I say this because I consider myself a port person, maybe not with the ILA, but as far as in management when I was there, we watched them build the deep water port for the Volkswagens to come in, because the radius of turning was causing those individual ships to run aground. Once they built that deep water port, or I shouldn't say port, but the dock that is on the opposite side of where the container ships currently are now, once they built that there, and they built that primarily for just Volkswagen. And what that did was I gave them a 90-foot draft. And in that 90-foot draft, because prior to that it was a 60-foot draft, you could only get a ship in there when the high tide came in. And then, and also we lost a crane there in the process of that situation. But what it did do was it allowed Volkswagen to bring those vehicles in timely, and then not have any kind of disruption from the actual dock straight up to the landing base, to the bays, and then my drivers would go in and they could load on the top of the hill. And like I said, some of you out there as the viewing audience may know what I'm talking about, some of you may not. But what it actually did for us was it gave us on-time delivery, and it moved our delivery times up, because actually what we could do is park the truck within the bay next to the vehicles and then the lines that you had. So you knocked off at least 45 minutes of load time. So that's just-in-time delivery to the dealerships. That being said, the same process can apply. Now, I've worked in Baltimore at the Port of Baltimore. I also worked down at Chesapeake in the same capacity. And what I always notice is that when container ships come in, those container ships have ample space to come and go. What Komoko was saying to us when we were at the CBTU meetings, and we kind of like want to let you guys know that please come and join us. We do that on the first of the month on a Saturday. Just come and join us, and you'll find out, especially the youngsters. I was at a conference in Baltimore on the 10th through the 12th, and we had what was classified as the under 40 crowd, and there's some really, really good people out there that are inspiring, and they have vision, and they're looking forward to bringing in younger individuals. That being said, as I said before, working at the Port of Baltimore, we saw those container ships come in, and what they were able to do was offload and onload. And here in Delaware, what we have is an infrastructure, and we have those rail infrastructures. And I know Linwood and me, both working in the auto industry and retired, we know how that infrastructure worked for us. We that were working in the parts plant or either at the plant in Chrysler, we could run those through. We had to pay you guys a duty though, but you guys had the railheads there. And you guys would ship cars out of that process just like we would do through there. So that infrastructure, mind you, is already there.
You're absolutely right, Lenny. You're absolutely right, man. We do have, with regards to the rail system that's in place, and the highways for the trucking, the infrastructure to be able to move the products that these big ships are coming into the Port of Wilmington, which, by the way, is one of the premier ports in the world. It goes without saying. On the East Coast, it's vital that we have this Port of Wilmington, and that we bring the goods and services here because of the infrastructure that's already in place and been there for forever, as far as long as I can remember anyhow. And what Kokomo and Tom Carper and all the rest of them are trying to do is extend this port. They want to add on. That's going to create like thousands of jobs in this area. It's by bringing in the big ships and opening up the ports. It goes without saying. We need work for our young people. The future is in this port, as far as Wilmington is concerned, and creating jobs, utilizing the rail system, the trucking system, and these ships. I believe they're talking about dredging the port so they can bring in even bigger ships, you know, which now we're talking about these cruise ships and stuff, you know what I mean? But that's a little further down. But right now what we have, what we're looking at is extending the Port of Wilmington. They already have the land laid out. The monies is there. We need everybody on board for this project. It just goes without saying, creating jobs brings economic opportunity. If I'm not mistaken, President Obama was here not long ago and spoke right there at the port with regards to him and Joe Biden, our own, Delaware's own Vice President Joe Biden, came down here and speak on this a lot. So we need the community to get involved and back this initiative, because it's us that we're saving. We're saving actually it's not us, it's our children. Like Lenny said, you know, we already did our part as far as working in the plants and stuff like that. But our young folks need work, jobs, and they need education. They need to be trained in order to go out and handle these jobs. Like there's a lot of construction going on out there to build this infrastructure. The extend the port is going to take a lot of jobs, a lot of work, and we need skilled people to get out there and do that, and that's where our kids come in. So it's just good all the way around for the community. I commend the Longshoremen, the Longshoremen Hall, and those union brothers and sisters over there that's doing the work that they're doing, and we just got to keep this out there as much as we can, Josie.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. We want to make sure we gave you the information. When you see County Exec Gordon, Komoko, and all those that are involved in this project, make sure you lend your support. We're going to just keep it in front of you. Just be on top of it. We're going to be on top of it, and we're going to give all the support that we can to make sure that this happens. The next